very proud of how we were resilient throughout the game. It wasn't the prettiest, but that's okay. If you can win the ugly ones, then you're a pretty good team. So I'm just super proud of how we stuck together. That's what I challenged them to do at halftime, is just play with energy, have some fun out there, and stick together through everything. So I think that the second half was a better tale on that. So
Questions?
Erin, you kind of went with your two freshman guards in the fourth. In fact, your two leading scorers on the season were on the floor in the fourth. Talk about that decision and what made you think that was the right way to do it, because obviously it was.
I mean, they both had an incredible week of practice this week. You know, I thought that they earned every minute that they got in practice on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and on Thursday. And then that's just kind of how the game was going. You know, they had the momentum. They were playing together. I mean, and at this point, with the exception of Mo not playing a lot of minutes so far this season, they're not freshmen anymore, right? And I think that they've proved that night in and night out and every day in practice. So I never once doubted anything. I knew that they're freshmen. Our seniors turn the ball over, they're going to turn the ball over. Like that, it just is what it is, right? As long as they knew how to get it back, and I think that they showed that. And, you know, I never doubted that.
You guys have seemed to pick it up a lot in the fourth quarter and lately. I know you had mentioned in the preseason, the non-conference says it wasn't like that, but do you feel they're getting a better feel for how to play in the crunch?
Yes, for sure. So in the non-conference, our first quarter was our best quarter, and our second and fourth quarters were our worst quarters by stat. And we have pretty much flipped that. Even in the game today, those are the two quarters that we won, and we really just came alive in the fourth quarter. It was going to be a little off today. We were trying to figure out rotations. We were trying to go with whoever was bringing what we needed at that time. And when you go with so many players, they don't always know how to play with each other yet, right? Now that we have started that, they'll get more comfortable with that. I think they'll pick it up a little bit sooner than the fourth quarter. But for us to not quit, I heard them in the huddle saying, we got 7 minutes left. The game was still tied. I want to say it was like 40-40 at the time. And they just stuck together. They played with energy. Every stop they got, they celebrated. Every shot that was made, they celebrated. And you could just see the complete energy shift.
And Cassidy, you sort of took over the fourth quarter there. When you did, and when you guys got the lead, you're the one they want to get the ball to go to the line, a freshman. How did you feel in that, having that weight on your shoulders there?
I just feel like my coach has been preparing me this whole season. It wasn't anything new. We do a lot of we're down, we're up, pressure situations in practice to where it's not new when you come into the game. And then also I just felt a lot of confidence. My roommate is Monet, who had a great night tonight, and so every shot I made, she was hyping me up. So it was easy to feel like the next one was going in when she was yelling louder than the whole arena every time I took a shot.
Yeah, I think she found you on one of those threes, the one in the corner, I believe, the right corner.
Yes.
And then you got her one on an offensive rebound, I believe. So speaking of which, you had 8 boards, and you were very active inside. Talk about your night and the way you guys did turn it around there in the fourth quarter.
I think it all goes back to last Sunday. After last Sunday, coming into practice on Tuesday, Coach challenged us and said, I just need 5 people with the best energy and who want to work hard and play hard for 40 minutes or however long you get an opportunity on the court. And I think that what you saw today was a continuation of what we did in practice this week. The teams got mixed up, but every time on goal, we just had great energy. So I'm going to attribute that to my teammates. We brought our own energy. They picked me up when my head dropped. We picked each other up when other people's head dropped. It was kind of just picking each other up and making each other feel good, and that's what you saw today, just the energy keep going. And then as far as rebounding, that's a want and will thing. So I guess I wanted the ball today.
Did their post game, they're the two bigs, they were sort of feeding each other pretty well and causing you trouble a little early on, but what did you get? You kind of shut that down after a while.
I think it's sticking to our principles. We're taught to get loose and get around, especially when posts are hooking and being physical, and I think that, it showed. I pulled the chair out on her and she fell. So I think it's just sticking to what we know, doing our job. That's something that Coach E and every single one of our coaches always say, especially Shug, just do your job. She'll come in the locker room, you look for advice, do your job. So I think that stuck with me, just do my job.
For any of you, or all of you, You guys were off to a great start. I know Sunday didn't go the way you wanted. Did that game kind of tick you off a little bit, or any? Did it? Well,
I'm gonna say absolutely. I think practice showed that. Like I said, Cassidy came in on Tuesday with fire. Monet came in ready to knock people's heads off, and that's what you saw today. What you saw today is how we practiced this whole week. So I mean, Cass, you want to add to that?
Did it affect us? Goodness, all week, that's like all we've thought about. Every night before we go to sleep, it was that Towson score and just the feeling like that we let one slip away and that we didn't show who we were. That was the worst part. It wasn't like they were doing stuff great. We felt we didn't show who we were, and that was actually one of our keys to win this game, was just be us, be our team.
To answer your question, yes.
it ticked you off. You mentioned that it was kind of I can't remember if you used the word sloppy or not, or maybe that was my word, but
You were right.
For about 3 quarters anyway. But did you feel it was sloppy, but the effort was there, the intensity was there, or they just were?
The effort was there. We just couldn't figure out how to put it together, right? I mean, that's what happens when you have rotations. I mean, we played 6, 7, 8, 9. We played 11 players today. Like, that's what happens when you have larger rotations, is that things can kind of get sloppy just in transition. But they figured it out, right? I mean, it's not going to be too many games that we just have an amazing, pretty, from start to finish game, right? This is not that kind of league. Like, people are going to force you to play ugly. At some point, they try to trap us on handoffs and just things that we weren't expecting. And because of that, it made us play ugly. They were great adjustments on their part and on their coach's part. So to be able to rally together and figure out everything, I feel like I said that all night today. I was like, just figure it out. Like, figure it out and figure it out together. That's really what it comes down to. At the end of the day, it's our job as coaches to prepare them, but they're out on that floor, and it's the 5 of them, and it's them against the world, right? And if they can just talk to each other, I thought that we would be able to figure things out, right? So we're in the huddles. I'm like, do your job, figure it out, and figure it out together. So yeah, I mean, it was sloppy. We were able to pull it out. That's great. You know, we're gonna watch some film on this. We're going to put it behind us, and then all of our focus goes to Monmouth.
You sure you want to add 1 or 2? Are you good? All right. Thanks, guys. See you Sunday.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.